Hi everyone. Hope you are all safe from coronavirus. This is Dr. B. Tarkeswar Rao, Professor, Department of CSC, KHIT. Today I want to give the demo on Introduction to C++. Before going to start C++, I want to revise few fundamentals. What is software? A software is a set of programs. What is a program? A program is a set of instructions. What are the types of softwares available? There are two types of softwares. The first one is called system softwares and the second one is called application softwares. What is system software? System software is a set of programs written in machine language. These programs are used to control the performance of the computer. Examples: operating systems, translators, utilities. These are the examples for system softwares. So what is an operating system? It is acting an interface between the user and the computer. It is a mediator between the user and the computer. That is called an operating system. Then a translator. What is translator? Translators are used to translate the high level language code into low level language. Translate the high level language code into low level language. Then what are the utilities? So utilities are helps the user to speed up the computer and improve the programming efficiencies. Then the second one is application software. Application software is a set of programs written for a specific task. It is mainly made for end users. Examples for application softwares: word processor, spreadsheets, database management systems, and our programming languages. Those are C, C++, Python, etc. These are all the application softwares. So two types of softwares. First one is called system softwares. Second one is called application softwares. We want to execute application software, we should maintain at least one system software, one operating system. Otherwise, the application softwares will not execute. For example, in our body, our heart is working, then the remaining organs are working. The heart is not working, but the remaining organs are not working. So if we want to execute our organs, we should execute our heart. Otherwise, it will not work. Clear, all of you? Then our heart is like operating system. Then our organs, all these organs are applications. Applications, softwares. So then operating system and application softwares. Then here also, then there is a software operating system, then we will execute our applications. Otherwise, application softwares are not executing. Clear? Then the next one is, what is a language? Language means medium of communication and communicate to the computer. Language means medium of communication and communication to the computer. We need a common language that is called computer language. Computer languages can be categorized into how many? Already you learned in first year, first semester. How many computer languages? There are three types of computer languages. The first one is machine language, second one is assembly language, third one is high level language. Third one is high level language. In machine language, a computer is an electronic machine which can understand any instruction written in binary form, that is using only zeros and ones. A program written in zeros and ones is called machine language. So this is the machine understandable language. While a computer easily understands this language. So the entire code in zeros and ones only. So that is the byte code, that is also called byte code or binary code, 0 and 1's binary code or byte code. Then it is difficult for humans to write an instructions in terms of zeros and ones. Second language is called assembly language. In assembly language, which was developed subsequently, machine operations are represented by mnemonic codes and symbolic names that specifies the memory addresses. The mnemonic codes are move, add, mul, store. For example, add move al comma 05. The 05 value assigned into accumulator registers. Here means our computer having some registers. So our given value with the help of mnemonic codes, the value will store in our CPU registers. It can store directly with the help of assembly language. This is also called low level language. Then the next one, third one is high level language. High level languages are machine easier to write than low level languages because programs written in these are similar to instructions written in the English language. Now, high level language is a general English language. So, the developers at the program development time, they are using only general English language. For example, so print, scan, read, write, go to, for, while, do, etc. These are all the general English words only. So this is the user-friendly language, high-level language. User can easily understandable language, easily written language. Generally, high-level languages are platform independent. Platform independent. Why it is called platform independent? Why it is called platform independent? This means that one can write a program in a high-level language and run it on different types of mechanisms. Machines, in different types of machines. So instructions written in high-level languages are called statements. So examples of high-level languages are Pascal, COBOL, Fortran, BASIC, C, C++, Java, Python, Visual C++, etc. These are all the high-level languages. These are all the high-level languages. So high-level languages are the platform independent. Why these are called platform independent? This means that one can write a program. Once we have to write a program, we can execute anywhere, means any system, any operating system means. So a high level language and run it on different types of machines. So these high level languages like Pascal, COBOL, Fortran, Basic, C, C++, Java, Python, etc. The high level languages are categorized into two types. The first one is procedure oriented programming language. Second one is object oriented programming languages. In procedure oriented programming languages, Pascal, COBOL, Fortran, C, etc. These are all under procedure oriented programming languages. Then why these are called procedure oriented programming languages? In procedure oriented programming languages, the entire program can be divided into small pieces. Each piece is called a function or a procedure or a module. A procedure is a self-contained block of statements that is used to find or execute a specific task. So then here procedure oriented programming languages like C. C is a function oriented programming language or procedure oriented programming language, C language. So then the next one is object oriented programming language. What are the programming languages under object oriented programming? Here C++, Java, Python, Visual C++, etc. These are all the object oriented programming languages. Then the object oriented programming language, C++ is an object oriented, Java is also object oriented, Python is also object oriented, Visual C++, Visual Basics, etc. These are all the object oriented programming languages. So the programs are divided into individual procedures in procedure oriented programming languages or structured programming languages. Programs are divided into individual procedures, small pieces. Each piece is called a procedure or a function or a module. A procedure is a self-contained block of statements that is used to find a task, perform specific task. Each procedure is independent of other procedures. Each procedure is independent of other procedures. Procedures have their own local data and processing logic. So each and every procedure has its own data and also executing. The programs can be broken up into modules. Each module consists of a different set of functions. This is module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. These are called functions. The different set of functions. Data access is controlled across the modules. Here global data, this data served to this module, also this data served to this module, and also this data served to this module, and also data served to this module. Then here module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. This is global data. So then here the global data served to all these modules. In the procedure oriented programming language means the entire code can be divided into modules, small pieces. In the object oriented programming language, the one of the main drawbacks of the procedure oriented programming is it cannot provide data abstraction. It provides functional abstractions only. So what is data abstraction? So later we will discuss in few slides, after few slides. So to address the increasing complexity with software for the data abstraction, object oriented programs came into existence. So depending on the object features, the languages are classified into two categories. The first one is object-based programming, example JavaScript. Then the second one is object-oriented programming, example Java and C++. The object-based programming languages supports encapsulation and object identity, but do not support inheritance and polymorphism. This is not pure object-oriented programming language. Why? It will not support inheritance and polymorphism. So, what is encapsulation? What is object identity? What is inheritance? What is polymorphism? Later we will discuss after few slides. Then all these concepts cover in third unit, fourth unit, fifth unit. Okay, all of you, don't worry, don't bother about these topics. I will explain neatly in the next classes. Then the OOP languages incorporate all the features of the object-oriented programming language. The object-oriented programming languages simply, what are the object-oriented programming language? Here C++, Java, etc. So here object-oriented concepts means here there are some concepts available like class, object, inheritance, polymorphism, etc. These are all object-oriented programmings. So now we will start C++ according to our syllabus. This is the first unit syllabus. These are all the contents in the first unit according to our university prescribed syllabus. So introduction to C++, differences between C and C++, evolution of C++, the object-oriented technology, disadvantages of conventional programming, key concepts of object-oriented programming, advantages of OOP, object-oriented languages. These are all the contents. So in the first unit syllabus. So then introduction to C++. So we want to discuss introduction to C++. Then what is C++? What is C++? Here C++ is a general purpose, high level, compiler based and object oriented programming language. Here C++ is a general purpose, high level, compiler based and object oriented programming language. C++ is also multi-purpose, high level, compiler based and object oriented programming languages. Here simply here C++. Why it is called general purpose? Why it is called general purpose? Here purpose means usage. Purpose means usage. Here general purpose. So for example, then there is a general store. We will go and bring general items from the store. General items from the store. The store contains more items. The store has more items. We will go and bring some items, general items. Then in this example, come here. Here C++, using C++, we are able to design operating systems. Using C++, we are able to design operating systems. What are the operating systems? Like Windows, Unix, MS-DOS, etc. So these are all the operating systems. Here using C++, we are able to design operating systems, and also using C++, we are able to design editors. So what are the editors we know? The most world famous editor is Notepad, WordPad, so EditPad, etc. These are all the editors. Editors are used to text message purpose, messaging purpose only. Then also use also use C++. Using C++, able to design commercial applications. So using C++, we are able to design commercial applications. Here commercial applications, these are giving money, earning money, commercial applications. What are the commercial applications? Banking applications, shopping applications, commercial applications, shoppings, then college applications, then etc. These are all the commercial applications. Then using C++, we are able to design scientific applications. Scientific applications are used in scientific laboratories like ISRO, like etc. Scientific laboratories. So, and also using C++, we are able to design databases. We are also using C++, we are able to design databases. The world database, the world famous database is SQL. SQL is developed with C and C++ only. SQL, MySQL, PLSQL. These are all the databases. While using C++, so we can develop these type of databases, softwares. So, and also using C++, we are able to develop translators. Translators like compilers, example compilers, interpreters, and assemblers. Translators like compilers and interpreters. These two are what are compilers and interpreters are used to translate the data from high level language to low level language. Here C++ is a compiler based. C++ is a compiler. That's why that is the compiler based. C++ is a compiler based. C++ is a general purpose high level compiler based. Here high level language, we know already we discussed the high level language is a general English language, that is the user interacting language. Okay, all of you. So we will develop the code. We will develop the code using high level language terminologies only. So C++ is general purpose high level compiler based. So then C++ is a compiler. Here using C++, we are able to design translators. We are able to design translators. So examples, compilers, interpreters, and assemblers. So compilers and interpreters are used to convert the code high level language into low level language. And assemblers are used to convert the low level language code into machine language. Clear all of you? Then and also using C++, we are able to develop device drivers. Device drivers. For example, I want to take a printout. I want to take a printout. Then in this example, how to collect printout? Then simply give the instructions to the computer to print using MS Word, etc. to print. Then the printer is connected to the system, but it will not working. It will not print. Why? Simply display a message. Printer drivers are not installed. Simply it will display a pop-up menu or pop-up message. The message is it will not printer drivers are not installed. Okay, that is the message. So simply that is the printer drivers, device drivers. Next, then there is a keyboard. Keyboard is not working. Keyboard drivers are not installed. So then keyboard drivers. Next one, mouse. Mouse is not working because device drivers are not installed. Before, here we want to give instructions to the printer, we should install the device drivers. Before before using the mouse, we should install the device drivers, mouse drivers, etc. So all the external devices, so like printer, then keyboard, mouse, etc. These are all having uh, drivers we should install before executing the system. Clear? So then you are using C++, we are able to design device drivers. Next one, using C++, we are able to design PC and mobile games, personal computer games and mobile games. For example, in the Nokia mobiles, then there is a popular game is there. What is the name of the game? All of you? Anyone? So the name of the game is called Snake Game. That is designed with C++. So Snake Game designed with C++. There are so many games are available in the market. Those games are developed with C++. So next one, using C++, we are able to design protocols. We are able to design protocols. What are the protocols? HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, FTP, File Transfer Protocol, etc. So these protocols are also designed with C++. So in BSNL protocols, maximum protocols, 80 to 90% protocols designed with C and C++ only. C and C++ only. So then these are all the various kinds of softwares designed with the help of C++. With C++, your operating systems, editors, commercial applications, databases, translators, device drivers, PC and mobile games, protocols. These are all the various applications. Here, multi applications. That's why C++ is a multi-purpose, high-level, compiler-based and object-oriented programming language. Then these are all the general applications. That's why this is called general purpose, high-level, compiler-based and object-oriented language. What is C++? C++ is a general purpose, high level, compiler based and object oriented programming language. Understood, all of you? So this is called general purpose. These are all the general items. Then there is a general store. We will go and bring general items like that. This is the C++ is able to design all these softwares. Clear, all of you? Then the next one is, so introduction to C++. Here C++ is an object oriented programming language. C++ is an object oriented programming language. C++ was developed by Jarny Strostrup in early 1983 at AT&T Bell Laboratories, USA. Here C++ was developed from C and similar 67 language. C++ was early called C with classes. C++ early called C with classes. Like C language, who developed C language? Dennis Ritchie. When? In 1972. Clear, all of you? Then here C++. For example, here C language. What are the ancestors of C language? What are the ancestors of C language? So then these are the ancestors of C language. Then the first one in 1960s, ALGOL, algorithmic language. In 1960s, ALGOL, that is algorithmic language. This is international group developed. So this is developed by international group. In then some features added. Here Martin Richards, some features added to ALGOL language. Then the resultant language is called BCPL. So some features combined to ALGOL language. Then the resultant language is called BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language, that is developed by Martin Richard in 1967. Next one, Ken Thompson added some features to BCPL. So then the resultant language is called B language, that is released in 1970. Next one, traditional C language. So Dennis Ritchie added some features, some additional concepts to B language. Then the resultant language is called C language, that is released in 1973. Next one is ANSI, ANSI, American National Standard Institution Committee, added some additional features to traditional C language. Then they released a new version. The new version is called ANSI, that is released in 1989. So then the next one, ISO Committee, International Standard Organization Committee, released another version, that is new version, that is called ANSI or ISO-C language, released in 1990. These are the ancestors of C language. So then, after C language, C++ added some features to C language. Then the resultant language is called C++ language. All of you understood? Here, ALGOL, BCPL, B language, traditional C, ANSI, and ANSI ISO-C. Then afterwards, then C++. Here C++ means C with classes. Here C++ means C with classes. All of you clear? C with here C++ was developed from C and similar 67 language. All of you clear? Here C++ was developed from C. All the features of C and similar 67 language features added. Then released a new version, that is called C++. Here C++ was early called C with classes. Early called C with classes. So here C++, that is an incrementation of C++, postfix operator, incrementation of C++. Okay, all of you. Then what are the differences between C and C++? What are the differences between C and C++? So simply here this is the these are the differences between C and C++. So Dennis Rich and John Strost of these photos identify. Okay. Then here click the differences between C and C++. Differences between C and C++ are C and C++. Differences between C and C++ are so in C is a procedure language, procedure oriented programming language. C language is a procedure oriented programming language. C++ is non-procedural oriented programming language, that is called object oriented language. Here C language, no virtual functions are present in C language, whereas in C++, the concept of virtual functions are used in C++. So, virtual functions we will discuss in 5th unit, all of you, last unit. So, listen keywords only in this topic. Okay. Then in C language, third point, in C, polymorphism is not possible. Polymorphism is not possible. Whereas in C++, the concept of polymorphism is used in C++. Polymorphism is the most important feature of OOPS. Polymorphism means many forms. One program. So one program, many forms. Many forms. Then this is a Greek word, polymorphism. Then there are two types of polymorphisms. First one is compile time polymorphism and the second one is runtime polymorphism. Two types of polymorphisms. So later we will discuss. Just listen and keep key points only, keywords only. Okay, all of you. Then the next fourth point is operator overloading is not possible in C language, whereas in C++ operator overloading is one of the greatest feature of C++. Here operator overloading, then function overloading. Operator overloading and function overloading. These are the two concepts in polymorphism. These are operator overloading. So here operator prefixed with a function name. So then we are sending and receiving arguments. Sending arguments are different, but function name prefixed with operator and function name same, but sending arguments are different. Then how it will overload, later we will discuss. Next one is top-down approach is used in program design. In C language, top-down approach is used in program design. Then whereas in C++, bottom-up approach adopted in program design. Here top-down approach means we are writing the code from top to bottom and also executing the code Here C programming language, C compile execute the program from top to bottom line, one by one line. Understood all of you? Whereas in object oriented programming language, the code, the code, approach, bottom up approach adopted in program design, bottom up approach. So first design functions, class, then finally at the end of the program we will design the main function and create class objects or create class variables, then call the methods or functions or procedure through object. Okay, all of you. In detail, later we will discuss in the second and third unit concepts. Okay, all of you. So then the next point is no namespace feature is present in C language. No namespace feature in present in C language. Here in C++, namespace feature is present in C++ for avoiding name collision. Here simply name collision. Here what is namespace? A namespace is a feature added in C++ and not present in C. A namespace is a declarative region that provides a scope to the identifiers, names of the types, function variables, etc. Identifiers inside it. Multiple nameplace blocks with the same name are allowed. So later we will discuss. This is also namespace. These are all the OOPS concepts simply. Then later we will discuss OOPS concepts. What is namespace? So how it executes bottom-up approach. Then what are the operating overloading concepts? What is polymorphism? What is function overloading? Later one by one we will discuss. Okay. In second unit, third unit, fourth unit, and fifth unit concepts cover all these concepts in detail. Okay. First of all, keep only keywords. Okay, all of you. Then the next one, multiple declaration of global variables are allowed. Multiple declaration of global variables are allowed in C language. Whereas in C++, multiple declaration of global variables are not allowed. Multiple declaration of global variables are not allowed. So why these are not allowed? So then here data and objects are linking, data and functions are linking one and together. Why? Then there is a bonding between object and member functions. So here we want to define the variables inside the function or procedure inside the function. Then we will receiving and sending data through object. Whereas in C programming language, multiple declaration of global variables are allowed. So we want to define variables in globally. So these variables can serve to all the member functions. member functions. So in C language, printf and scanf, these are the input output functions, whereas in C++, this is the cin and cout are the input output functions. Input output functions. All of you. Then these are the differences between C and C++. Then then in C language, mapping between data and functions is difficult and compiled. So then there is a difficult mapping in data and functions. Then the user will confuse in C language. Whereas in C++, mapping between data and function can be used using objects. So then there is a linking or bonding or combined. Okay. So functions and objects in C++, linking between functions and objects in C++ is allowed. So in C language, we can call main function through other functions, whereas in C++ we cannot call main function through other functions. So in C++ we cannot call main function through other functions. Clear all of you? So what it will happen later we will discuss. C requires all the variables to be defined at the starting of a scope, beginning of the function. For example, then there is a syntax. C language syntax. First one is preprocessor declarations. Next one is global variable declarations. Next one is main function. Main function categorized into two. First one is local variable declaration and the next one is executable section. So C requires all the variables to be defined at the starting of a scope, starting of a function. Then the next one, executable sections. Whereas in C++ allows the declaration of variables anywhere in the scope, anywhere in the function, anywhere in the program. This is static binding. This is dynamic binding simply. This is static memory allocation. This is dynamic memory allocation. No inheritance is possible in C language. So whereas in C++ inheritance is possible in C++. What is an inheritance? What is an inheritance? So a new one here simply child deriving, getting money from his parent earning. So student, child not earning, but he is getting pocket money for his parent. So here extract the values student getting information, getting money from his parent. Then here also a new one is inherit the data from the old one. Inherit means here extracting the values from the old one. The new one is called derived class, the old one is called base class, parent class and child class. A child class deriving the data from the a child class deriving the data from the base class. A child class is deriving the data from the parent class. The parent class is called base class. The child class is called derived class. Then there are various types of inheritance concepts available in our C++. Later we will discuss. All of you, this is also most important concept in our topic. Next one, in C language, malloc and calloc functions are used for memory allocation and free function for memory deallocation. Malloc and calloc functions are used for memory allocation and free function is used to release the memory while allocating while allocating memory using malloc or calloc functions. So here free release the memory. Already occupied memory using free function it can release. Okay. Then whereas in C++ new and delete operators are available. New operator is used to allocate the memory. Then the next delete operator is used to deallocating the memory. So new and delete operators are available in C++. these two operators, new operator allocating memory to a variable, then delete operator delete memory from the variable. Clear? So from the memory, all of you. Then the next one is, so it supports built-in and primitive data types, built-in and primitive data types, whereas in C++ it supports both built-in and user-defined data types, both built-in and user-defined data types. So then in C does not provide direct support to exception handling. In C++, exception handling is done with try and catch blocks. Okay, does not, in C language it does not provide direct support to exception handling, whereas in C++ exception handling is done with try and catch blocks. Try and catch blocks. Okay, all of you. Then these are the differences between C and C++. These are the differences between C and C++. Then so what are the topics we discussed today? Simply discussed today. Today topics are languages, computer languages, high level language, low level language, and machine level language. All of you. Next one is procedure oriented programming language and object oriented programming language. Next one, what are the procedure oriented languages and what are the object oriented programming languages? Then C++, introduction to C++. Before going to give the introduction, what is C++? Then the definition of C++. Next one is introduction to C++. Then these are the differences between C++ and C language. Differences between C++ and C language. All of you clear? Today, tomorrow we will discuss then the remaining topics. Okay, ma, all of you. Okay, then tomorrow we will meet. Okay, stay home, stay safe. Okay, ma, bye.